All right, people, Catfish Dave here. I was supposed to be going to catch some skipjack, but by the time I paid some bills, ordered me some demon dragons, and done some other stuff, I forgot to put my skipjack rods in the boat. So I make it all the way down here, and I've still got almost 2 skipjacks left. They're about 4 days old, and since I ain't got no way to catch more, I'm going to use these and do a catfish trip. We're in a different section of the river. Last time I was up closer to Knoxville, and I'm just going to do the same thing. We're on that extreme cold front. It was really warm. The water's in the 60s. Everything's coming up in here to spawn. Boom, it gets cold. Everything's moving back out. And should not be far outside of these creeks. So the wind's going to blow in the camera. That's par for my video. I'm going to do the same thing but downriver. Target the deep water outside of the creeks. I'll start outside of this one, and then there's several more we'll work up there if this don't pan out. Let's get out here and catch some fish. Well, I'm honestly not seeing much on the graph, and I've rode this river for about 10 miles. So I'm going to do the same thing I was doing upriver, which is I was catching them right dead center out of the channel. I wasn't catching them in holes. I was catching them in more medium water, right dead center. I got a deep hole here, got another one up here. I'm just going right up dead center, man. That's where I was pulling fish. Not seeing much of anything in this section of river, but we're going to try it. We're down here. All this cold, man, they could be hunkered down in the mud. Who knows? Put the giant headpiece on the middle rod. A couple of chunks on the planers. I've learned before that just because you ain't seeing them, don't mean they ain't here. I would rather see them, but it don't matter how far I go, I'm not, so we're fishing. I've been through the channel, been up on big humps, flats, secondary channels. I ain't seeing jack squat. So we're pulling the channel, which is how I caught them last time, right dead center of it. Good old dirty South dragon weight. When I was up on Cherokee Lake during that cold weather, you wouldn't find a single fish on the screen. And then later in the afternoon hours, that screen would just start lighting up. And this happened every day, every time I went for weeks. They were laying down in the mud. They'd come up and stir around in the heat of the afternoon, and then the bite would die. We'll see if that's what happens today. It is early afternoon. It's about 2 o'clock, 2:30. So we should be here about the right time for them to start stirring. I ain't coming out here in 20 degrees when it's supposed to be springtime. Just seen a fish slightly hovered over the bottom like a catfish would do. Here again, if they're very scattered, and they were last place I caught fish, you might not necessarily see them riding up through the boat because you're just looking at a down scan. That don't mean they're not scattered around. We just passed one, so that's a good sign. The wind is not blowing at all right now, and I'm getting kind of warm in this. I've got 65 pounds of clothes on. We're going to take that off. I ain't got no peripheral vision with that thing on anyhow. So far, we ain't catching jack squat. Something just took a swipe at that headpiece. I've passed 4 or 5 fish now, and we're on the back side of this front. You can see how clear the skies are. That's as bluebird as you can get. And we've actually got like a 3-mile-an-hour east wind, which is the worst possible direction the wind can blow for fishing. I also got some dag-blasted chainsaw on the hill up here while I'm trying to talk. Now I'm pulling 0.3 mile per hour, and I know I've passed fish. I may double my speed, get it up to about 0.6, maybe 0.7. Last time I fished, 0.3 was the ticket, but we may need to change presentation. So let's bump up to about 0.7. As soon as I changed to 0.7, we got nailed. That's the only problem with the speed clips on the planer board, is I've had the board come completely loose. So we'll have to go back and get that board. I think I just got bit right there on that rod. Sure enough, y'all. We changed to 0.7, we're getting bit. That is an ugly fish. There is the mud on it where they're laying. I'm not seeing no bait in the river anywhere around this section of river, so whatever they see should be food. Either way, we know 0.7 is all of a sudden producing bites, so. The good thing about planer boards is they float, you just go back and get them. Well, he took a swipe at it. Oh, yeah. Woo! That's a better fish there. Well, he pulled harder than what he is, but he's not a bad fish. .7 is the ticket. Scattered fish, cold fish, bluebird skies, east wind. And I guess that extra speed is creating more of a reaction strike, giving them less time to think about it. There's no bait in this section of the river at all, so if they do see a bait on my hook, they should be interested. That's a tournament winner in Fort Lousy. All right, y'all, we're at the beginning of our course. I'm gonna retie this thing. This thing was nicked up. And that hook had a bad spot in it. Hook good. All right, y'all, fish number 3 on an unplanned trip. This is supposed to be a skipjack trip, but I didn't bring my rods, so I'm fishing with what bait I got left. 0.7 mile an hour in between the holes, and about 30 something foot is what's catching fish. Alright y'all, people send me stuff in the mail. This is a mouthful, so I'm going to read it off the pack. This is a Hooker's Terminal Tackle, Tennessee Super Walker Lures, Chartreuse Bone, Demon Type Rattle Spook. I'm going to put it on this middle rod, see if it can't rattle spook us up a fish. I'll tell you what, if color makes a difference, that thing's either going to make you or break you. It's got the color going on. Yeah. Right slap dab in the middle of the river. These fish are scattered, and we got the boards wide finding them. 4-day-old mushy bait, and hauling fish out of an area I'm not seeing a lot of fish. I am seeing a few go under the screen there. Yeah. He popped the board loose when he hit, but he hit it so hard he hooked himself when he did. Go ahead and cut up this last skipjack. Speaking of Hooker's Terminal Tackle, he sent me one of these serrated style knives that they sell. And I use a regular fillet knife, but these large skipjack have got a pretty good backbone running through them. And that's one way to get through it, so. Sawed right through it. Woo! Oh. Look at there, y'all. Hardest bite of the day. And that hook was turned back into the bait. That's how we missed him. That was a big fish. Another one of them scattered fish. We'll let him have the bait. He worked hard for it. Woo! Yeah! There's another one. The Hooker's Terminal Tackle Rattle. Another blue catfish. Straighten out, man, you're on camera. He nailed it. Got a little bit of waves from a barge that just passed by. The fish is being difficult. He is not swimming to the boat, he's just turning sideways in the current. Not that big, he's just being difficult. odd colored fish right there. Yeah, quit being ornery, bud. Oh, quit being ornery. Old big-headed male, got a little bit of a darker color to him. Yeah. See that wide head on him. Old male. Alright y'all, that's plenty of fish for a video. Unplanned trip. I was going to fish for skipjack during the warmer part of the day. Get all the way down here to this part of Knoxville, realize I don't have my skipjack rod, so we put in the nearest boat ramp. And I'm catching these fish in the same situation as I did last video, upriver. Got a deep hole way up there, a deep hole down there, and then there's a gradual rise between the holes. It goes from 60 foot up to about 33, and then back down to 70 there, and I'm getting these fish towards the top of that big hump in roughly 33 to 38 foot of water. Once you get past that, it's blank. There's no fish nowhere. So pretty much the same thing as I was fishing upriver there. On old bait. 4-day-old mushy skipjack. Spread them planer boards. Caught most of the fish today. Dirty South Dragon weights. Demon Dragon spook. Hooker's Terminal Tackle spook. And I believe I've got one of them Mad Cats rattles on that left one. This is a video. There was fish in the video. That makes the fishing video. This is Catfish Dave with another one. Signing out.